Good morning. I am so excited to have you guys here. So this week we are talking about the new moon and the new moon in Sagittarius. And not only that, but it's still eclipse season. So we are running directly into a solar eclipse. So really quickly, anything that you've been going through since like May, June of 2020 for like the last 18 months. Hi, it's been a big year and a half for all of us. Whatever you had started around then is coming to fruition. It's coming to this big end, right? And so today we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're also going to pull cards today. I'm pulling cards from the Moonchild Tarot, whose author and illustrator is Danielle Noel, who is amazing. Her stuff is just so beautiful. So I'm going to read this to you really quickly. It says, with a lunar eclipse, this is a really great article actually from InStyle, which is funny because I'm usually more attracted to the articles that my friends write, but this is just a really good one off the cuff. So it's from InStyle by Marissa Brown. It says, with the lunar eclipse and full moon behind us and the holiday season now in full swing, you'd think the universe would offer us a bit of respite from dramatic astrological events. There's a reason that eclipses have their own seasons, and we're still very much in the heart of the last one of the year. And as this first week of December closes out, the final new moon and solar eclipse of the year will occur in the mutable fire sign of Sagittarius. And although it's a new moon, you could get the sense that a particular chapter of your life is closing, as this will be the final eclipse of the Sagittarius Gemini series that started back in June of 2020. So it's the beginning of June, the end of May. So what is this new moon asking us to do? Well, it's obviously, like most new moons, asking us to usher in new energy, to allow for the newness to come in. But the really cool thing about this one as well is because it's an eclipse, it's still an eclipse season, is that it's asking for us to close something as well. So what I'm really feeling this is for a lot of people is this opportunity to close that door that you've been wanting to close for a little while and then shift into the newness of something that you've been working on. So for myself in particular, I'm actually graduating 2 yoga teacher trainings at the exact same time, like one right after the other, one on the 5th and one on the 11th. And then I'm shifting into a very slight change in my business, but I've learned so much in the last year and a half about what I want my business to look like moving forward, what some of the offerings are going to be in 2022, which is crazy to me that we're already in 2022. And so what I have done in the last couple of weeks, I'm going to try to show you some of these, is I did a strategic planning session with myself. Hi, I'm my own boss. We had a big meeting, and I did like the final numbers for my year. I went over some of my to-dos. I projected what I want my income to look like next year. I projected some of the projects that I'm going to be putting together. And then I also created a list of like things that I do for income and things that I have in my repertoire, but I just don't pull out that often. And so I had this like big, huge planning meeting with myself. And I know that there are a number of endings that are happening in December, and it's going to shift into this big, beautiful new beginning. And I'm really excited about it. And I know that that's because of the Sagittarius Gemini eclipse seasons for the last 18 months that have really started to shift me personally and also my business. So then combine that with the new moon. And that's just ushering in all this brand new energy. So what I would suggest to you is bringing in a little bit of a strategic planning session. My friend Amelia is doing one. My teacher Amelia is doing one for 2022. I have a number of people who are business coaches that are doing them as well. I'm always happy to give a little bit of insight and advice in terms of business. But this is a really good time for you to sit down and not only manifest for the next 30 days, right? Not only taking this new moon for the next 30 days, but really taking this new moon for the next like year, for the next season ahead of us, to see what is it that I want to do? What is it that I want to change in 2022? And who do I want to become? And how am I going to get there? And what's really fun about this is that it's in the sign of Sagittarius. And we are, because I'm a Sagittarius, we are fiery and fun and passionate. We love travel. And it's a really bad reputation that like we are not loyal. We are loyal to a fault, but we will flit around until we find what we what we want to be loyal to or who we want to be loyal to. And so it's a really beautiful, bold, fiery sign. And I feel like that's going to be very exciting for you guys as you shift into this newness. So I'm going to pull your cards for the week ahead, our cards for the week ahead. The last little thing about the new moon, just as a reminder, because I feel like I say this all the time, when you're doing moon ceremonies, you can use crystals. You can put them in like a little crystal grid. I teach all about crystal grids in my crystal healer course. The next one starts January 4th, by the way. But you could put them in a crystal grid, and then you can write out your intentions, slide them underneath the middle crystal, because your crystal grid will typically have a minimum of 5. So center crystal and then 4 around. They can get much more bigger and much more complex than that. And so you would slide your intentions underneath, and then you would write out your intentions, but make sure that they're always positive. So instead of writing something like I'm no longer sick, you would write I am healthy. They're in the present moment. So it's as though it has already happened. I am, I have, not I will, I want. And they should be time specific. So make sure that you correlate this with a date that is important to you or that feels good to you. Typically, it's 6 months out for the bigger things that you're manifesting or the bigger things that you're working on. There's a lot of things happening this week. So the first card that we got is the card of the moon. And in this deck, so in many decks that I've had before, the moon is like the illusion of something kind of being hidden from you. And I often feel like what's being hidden from you in the other decks is almost an external force. And in this deck, I feel like it is an internal force. And I also feel for the moon, it's not just illusion, it's also dreams. And so not getting so caught up in the starving artist style dream, right? But really stepping into and sinking into what is it that we're daydreaming about? What is it that we're nighttime dreaming about? So the first card that we got, as you can see, is the moon. I absolutely love this. I'm glad that it just focused. It has the hawk energy. It has ram. It has, you can see the little huskies on the bottom, the little wolves on the bottom, and the goddess energy. And it says, the cyclical magic of the moon glows and transmutes into the hands of the goddess. She's working with its light, and the spiritual familiars, the spirit familiars are shifting ages, rest on the sides of her, connecting to the intuitive, the mysterious, and the subconscious realms. So again, I really feel like this is the internal, it's the dreams, it's this idea of the new moon. And instead of it being, as I said with some other decks, like an illusion of somebody hiding something from you, it's almost like an illusion of within your dreams, there's something being hidden. And it doesn't mean that it's a bad hidden. It means that it's just something that you can't see yet, and it's coming. It's good. But just know that it might feel like there's this week might feel a little bit tricky, but know that you're on the right path and that the end of the week ends really, really well. Okay. So the next one is the Two of Swords, which is, oh, there we go. There we focused. So the next one is the Two of Swords. Swords cards, I feel like people get them and they're like, no, I don't want it. But swords cards always tell the truth. They're always sharp and to the point. And so this one is self-doubt. It's denial. It's this idea of being at a crossroads. Like, what do I do next? Right. And I really feel like the Two of Swords come up when there's kind of a struggle. And I feel like this week, these cards, it's like there's an internal struggle happening right now within you of what do I want to do next? What's the right path? Which lines up with all of our like vision boarding stuff, right? All of this ending of the Sagittarius Gemini eclipse season, ending of the year, ending of the last, it's not even an end really, but like just we've been through so much with COVID and so many shifts. We're going through another holiday season, which is beautiful, but it brings up so much. And I feel like this week it's going to be struggle, but not like you're not going to be struggling and, oh, I can't do it, or, oh, I don't know, or it's just going to be that internal, am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right path? Am I doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing? And here's the answer. Yes. Yes, you are. Because this is the star. This is the card of hope. As you can see, she's holding like a little chalice. She's holding a bowl up here. She has the moon. She has the pyramids. She's in between these beautiful columns, and is surrendering to the divine, and is this reminder of hope. And I'm going to actually pull up a poem because it so perfectly resonates with this. But a friend of mine sent me a poem yesterday that was just so perfect for this card. So it says, hope is not a bird, Emily. It's a sewer rat. Not laughing, but it's so perfect. Hope is not the thing with feathers that comes home to roost when you need it the most. Hope is an ugly thing with teeth and claws and patchy fur that's seen some shit. It's what thrives in the discards and survives in the ugliest parts of our world, able to find a way to go on when nothing else can even find a way in. It's the gritty, nasty little carrier of diseases such as optimism, persistence, perseverance, and joy, transmissible as it drags its tail across your path and bites you in the ass. Hope is not some delicate, beautiful bird, Emily. It's the lowly sewer rat that snorts pesticides like they were lines of coke and still shows up to work the next day, looking no worse for wear. It's by Caitlin Sita. So sometimes hope can feel exhausting and like, I don't need it, or it's too much, I don't want it. And it's there because we need it and because it's so beautiful. And so whatever comes up for you this week, I'm not feeling hardship. I'm feeling shadows. I'm feeling doubt. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm not feeling external forces. I'm not feeling like there's going to be too much extra stuff on your plate. I'm feeling like this is an emotional thing that you are shifting through, that you are saying, okay, what is no longer serving me? What am I stepping into? And what do I want the next chapter to look like? How do I want my life to begin to unfold in the next 30 days, let alone the next year ahead? And so the star is this beautiful reminder of hope. Perfect. So that's your week ahead. A little bit of struggle, but good struggle. I am also towards the end of this going to read you a poem that I wrote yesterday. And I wrote it in Shavasana. All my students were actually in their Shavasana. And so I'll read that towards the end of practice. But I want to end us with something that's going to help our anxiety. I don't know if is the right word, but my girlfriend Rachel keeps saying that we have shifted from regular anxiety to like season holiday style anxiety, which is so true. And we're all starting to feel a little bit of overwhelm. And so as you are transitioning from this ending into a new beginning, which for so many of us can be so beautiful and can be so fun and optimistic and like, yes, a chapter is closing and something new is coming and I'm so excited. And then there's other people who are like, no, I don't want to close the door because I don't know what's on the other side. All right. So no matter where you are on that spectrum, this mantra and mudra combination is going to really help you to ground into yourself, to feel more balanced, to feel more connected and more in tune. Okay. So we're going to do, it's called Satanama. And so we're going to shift into that mantra mudra. And then at the end, we'll Om together. And I will read my poem before shifting you off to your beautiful Thursday. Okay. So you're going to sit up nice and tall. Bring your hands to your heart at first. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale all the way out. Inhale. And exhale. And breathe normally for a moment, allowing yourself to tap into your intention, maybe to begin to shift into what it is that you're manifesting or what you're holding space for in this new moon, this solar eclipse transition. And then as you're ready, blink your eyes open. You're going to bring your palms down onto your knees. I know you can't see my hands, so I'm going to show you them up here first, and then I'll drop them down onto my knees. You're going to bring at first your thumb to your index finger, sa. Your middle finger to your thumb, na, ta. Index finger, na. Pinky, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. What does this mean? It is the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. So Satanama is like the universe and life, birth, death, and rebirth. So it's like the circle of life. Zion and I went to go see The Lion King a couple weeks ago on Broadway. So it's this idea of like the circle of life, the cycle of life. And with an ending comes a beginning. And so that's what this week is going to be all about, is like ending something that has been going on for a while, for a long time now, and shifting into newness, like what's going to happen next. Okay. And so that's a cycle. It's never a bad thing to have a cycle. I feel like I need to emphasize that, because I feel like we pull things like the Two of Swords or the Death card, or things that are overwhelming people immediately feel stuck. And I don't want you to feel stuck. I want you to remember that it's a circle. It's a cycle of life. It's a circle of life. And something is ending so that we can have something brand new and beautiful begin. Okay. So I'm going to put my hands down on my knees. And again, it's thumb to index finger to middle finger to ring finger to pinky. Okay. Take a deep breath in. Satanama, 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 Satanama. Keep the palms open. Take a deep breath in. Exhale all the way out. And then bring your hands to your heart. We'll end with an Om inhale. Om. So what I love about this one is that this is something that you can do in line at the grocery store, at the post office, at your kids' parent-teacher conference. It is something that you can do really quickly while you're in the car, while you're experiencing stress. If you have any type of overwhelm, it's a really good one to keep you grounded and to reconnect you to yourself. A couple of quick announcements before I read my last poem. The online yoga teacher training starts January 15th. The online crystal healer course starts January 4th. Reiki 1 is sold out, but there will be Reiki 2 in February, and then I'll be running Reiki 1 again, very likely in March online, because I know I have a couple of folks that said that they were interested in attending. And yesterday was the last day for the year-long tarot spread special at $33. However, if you are interested in a spread, I'm now offering them for $75. And I will be doing those still up to January 15th. And if you have any questions at all, let me know. I am so grateful that you guys are here, and that most of you watch the recording of this, but I'm so grateful that you're here and that you're watching this. So without further ado, I'm going to leave you with my poem, and then I will wish you a beautiful, happy Thursday. Rise, my loves. from the depths of despair, from the trauma that is in the past, from expectations and perceived obligations. Rise into who you are meant to be, who you are made to be. For you are made of water and air. You are made of love. You are made of earth and you are made of grounding. But you are also made of fire, created to burn the past and walk through those flames into the future, a future that promises love, because that is what we are made of. Satnam, my friends. I will see you next week. Always between 8 and 8:30 is when I go live, and I cannot wait to see you. Also, if you want to come to class tomorrow, we're on Zoom. Satnam.